All right, battery time. Today, I got a very, very, very powerful battery. It's 35C. You know what that means? It means it could put out 35 times its capacity. That is very, very, very powerful cell, right? So it's kind of weird. It comes like this. The problem is that it's a 6S, which is 22.2 volt nominal. So not very useful in a lot of applications, but this is from RC world, right? So this is an RC battery. It's a Lipo battery. And these are known for putting quite a bit of power. And this one, well, it's no exception. This is a 6,500 milliamp hour. So you got to multiply 6.5 amp hours times 35, 227 amps. So of course, it's got 10 gauge cables here. And at 35C, that means that it will be done in 1/35th of an hour. 60 minutes divided by 35, it's 1.7. So that means that if you run this at 35C, right, it's fully charged, and you run it at 35C, then it will last you for a minute, 1.7 minutes, just under 2 minutes, and the entire capacity of this battery will be gone. But even more, because it says on the back here, look at this. It says, do not over discharge. 10 to 20% of capacity must remain in the pack. Use 3.4 minimum auto cut and flight timer, right? So basically saying leave 10 to 20%. So you're looking at about a minute flight time on this. I think someone mentioned this is for like a helicopter. It's for some kind of a RC thing, right? And so, yeah, the reason why you need 36C and that kind of capacity is probably because there's acceleration time. So if it's like a flying machine, when it takes off, and if you want to accelerate really fast and get going, right? But that's only going to happen for a few seconds, 1-2 seconds of 35C. And then after that, it's going to lower down to something, well, a lower number than that, right? I don't know, 10C or something like that, right? And so that's how you can get more than 1 minute of flight. But if you're going to go full on 100% peak, right? So 1 minute and this battery is going to be cooking, right? And it's going to be done. All its energy is going to be out. Well, the cables are going to be hot because these are 10 gauge cables, right? And then, well, they don't come with the connector here. So you got to choose the right connector to do it here. This is an XT90 here. This is the thickest cable that you can put in there, a 10 gauge cable, right? So this is a 90 amp burst, I think 45 amp continuous, right? So it's kind of undersized for this application. But again, the 35C, it's only for peaks. It's for 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, of like maybe 200 amps while it's accelerating or whatever, and then it's there, right? So today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug it in. Then we're gonna test the capacity just to see that these batteries are in good condition. It doesn't have a date. It doesn't have a built date on them or any other number that we might be able to use. These are brand new, as you can see, right? Because they're not terminated here. But I just want to put one to the test and check it out. We'll load it. Maybe we'll load it with 100 amps or something for a few seconds, and then after that we'll back down just to see how hot they get, or see if they can actually put out 100 amps, right? So they're supposed to be able to do 200, but this is how you test this, right? The label says one thing, but when you actually put it on the table, let's do it. Okay, so let me show you the setup because it's a bit unusual here. The load is this big 3,000 watt inverters, 24 volts, right? But because this battery is not exactly 24 volts, this one's a 6S, right? So it's the nominal is about 22 volts. Then what I'm doing is I'm adding another battery that can also handle 200 amps, right? So this battery can handle 200 amps. This one, so this is just to bump up the voltage just a tiny bit. Well, like 4, right? 3.7 volts, the nominal, right? So that this thing runs and it gets the voltage that it needs, right? But because I want to measure what comes out of this battery, not what comes out of this battery plus this battery, because this one is going to be adding its own, energy, then I have placed the sensing, the meter here, the thing that's going to be measuring the capacity, or deducting actually, because it started with 50 amp hours, and then we're going to just, deduct, count backwards from 50. This connected between this battery and then that other battery. So we're only measuring what's coming out of this battery here, and then only the power that's coming out of here, not the combined power that's going into the thing. So that's what we're doing. This is going to measure the capacity and measure how much current is going through it. This one, I have it here just to check to see what the cells are doing. If the cells are sagging way too much, we know that we're pushing this battery way too hard, and then we can back down. Of course, I'm gonna only apply 100 amps in bursts, because I don't want this thing to catch on fire on me here. Why? But if this stays cool and the battery, the voltage doesn't sag, then maybe we go harder. That's what this tests are about. All right, let's start this test. That's 50 amps. Oh my God, this battery is 60 amps, 70 amps. Oh my God, this battery is very stiff. Look at how these don't drag that much. Okay, you see that, right? We're doing 13 amps right now, 82 amps. Okay, so it sags a little bit, but this is nothing compared to what this battery should be able to do. 3.9, it goes back to 4.1, so that's 2,000 watts. That's 80. Okay, so we're gonna leave it around 50 right now. Yeah, we need a bigger load here. Let's see terminally what that battery's doing. Okay, so we're doing 50 amps, 55 amps. Yeah, what's hot is that connector, that XT90 connector. It can't handle more than 45 amps continuous, right? So when we do 80, it doesn't handle it. Yeah, 50C, that's quite hot there for that little connector there. So let's do again, 3.7. Cells are sagging to 3.6, 3.7, but I mean, that's still nominal. We're only 3 amp hours into our test here out of 6. So we're 50% of the battery capacity. 86, 70 on that. Okay, we're tapering down to 50 amps again. 60 amps right now. $50 amps. Yeah, that battery's not hot. I mean, it's just warm. The cables. Woo, look at those cables. 85C. Yeah, that connection there can't handle that power, but the battery's fine. Yeah, so you'd probably have to use some other cable, like a bigger cable in there. Connector, not cable. Ooh, okay, there we go. All right, and here's the end of our test. So the reason why it is because that one's now at 3, right? So it's top balance, not bottom balance. So number 2, cell number 2 is the smallest one, and it's down at 3 volts, where all the other ones, this one's all the way up to 3.5. So there's quite a bit, like half a millivolt there, 500 millivolt difference, right? So we got 43, so 7 amp hours. So I think a little bit more than 7 amp hours. So this is giving out more capacity than it's advertising here, but not much, right? But that's about where the cells are now. So if we were to bottom balance these, right? So we just balance them there, and then you let them charge all the way to 4.2. This one's gonna get down up there, and then maybe we can get more out of it. No, I think it's always like the capacity is the smallest cell, right? And cell number 2 is the smallest cell. So there we go. These, and it got lukewarm. It's not bad at all. What got really hot was this connector over here. Obviously, these connectors are not made for transferring that much power continuously anyways. So there you go. These batteries are at jack35.com. What can you use these batteries? Well, definitely you can use them for what they were intended, for some kind of RC thing that you need bursts of power, right? Of a lot of power, 200 amps or 100 amps or something like that. Other than that, maybe you can break them apart and make them into 4S, and then you can get a lot of power for like a 12 volt application, like, I don't know, something where you need a lot of power. Maybe you can put 2 of them or 3 of them in series, and then you can get higher voltage, 44 volts or 66 volts or 88 volts, something like that, 200 amps. That's an application that you might be able to use with these. I don't know, these are designed not to be used with a BMS, but you could put a BMS in there. They have the balance leads sticking out of the pack like that. It's a typical Lipo stuff, right? So if you can use these, go check out jack35.com. We have over 50 of these, something like, 75 or something like that. And so we're just gonna blow them out. These are usually like really expensive, but I think we got them cheap, so we're just gonna sell them cheap. All right, guys, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.